Okay, guys, only because you asked me to. You know, if you didn't ask me to, I wouldn't have done it. But let's talk about the Xbox One X. Yes, I'm using Assassin's Creed as a an example of that. The textures, volumetric light, DirectX 12 unlocked. It's not just HDR and high resolution that's key point here. It's also the graphical enhancements, the performance. If you only had Xbox One and Xbox One S and that's all you played, this will be a huge step up for you. I mean, gigantic step up. Okay? Meaning that you're going to see things that you never saw before. If you never had a high-end PC, if you were never into building your a huge giant rig PC, then you will never know what that was. And I'll give you one example right here. Let me jump up right here. Look at the textures on this cliff right here. I'll even bring my camera closer. Look at the textures. And also pay attention to the textures on his shield. And look at all that detail. And then look at the tessellation in the distance. Could this be because they're using a very good DirectX 12 architecture? Yeah, could be. So my whole point here is it's not just high dynamic range, even though high dynamic range plays a huge role. You've seen the videos, what happens when you strip down high dynamic range and how much of detail you lose. But it's also the graphical enhancements that they're so important. Okay? And that's something that people forget. Even if you don't have a 4K TV, this game graphically will still look excellent. Okay? Now it's recommended that you have an 4K HDR television, but if you don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Okay? You're gonna be okay. And look here, when the sun is setting, everything looks natural on this side because it's getting dark. And look at that beam of sun setting right there. Or is it a moon coming out? Is that a moon? Yeah. I think that's moon coming out shortly, and you will see it rise. There it is. Look at that moon rise. Alright, let's maybe I shouldn't have done that, but hey. Yeah, that's the moon rising. And look at, now this is HDR. What you're seeing here now, this is HDR doing its peak brightness job right here. Now look at this tessellation here. Look at the anti-aliasing here. There are no jagged edged lines on these palm trees. The volumetric light, it's perfect. Okay. And you know, this is something that I want to talk about this video. It's not just HDR and 4K that's so important. It's the graphical enhancements which are important as well. And I think that's what makes Xbox One X so powerful and unique, is not only are you getting the 4K and HDR, but at the same time you are getting graphical enhancements, which are also as well important here. Just look at the texture detail here. I'm bringing this as close as I can. Look. Look at that eagle. Look at him. Look at the detail on both eagle and him and his sword. It just looks phenomenal. And I'm like very close to a TV. Very close. And then look at that moon shining. That's because you have the volumetric light, and on really good volumetric light that's being added here, you also have that beautiful, beautiful HDR. Okay. Now I know this is checkerboard to 1800 and up to 1900 scale, but it's still pretty darn good. You gotta remember 1900p to 2016p, that's near 4K, native 4K. Okay, so that's a pretty darn good upscale. I mean, checkerboarding, rendering. Hey, just look at this. You're not gonna find any jagged edges lines here. They don't exist. They don't exist. I'm not gonna find them here. I look at the grass and the textures on the grass. Okay, let's go over here in the desert a little bit. Look at that. Look at that desert. Just look how detailed that desert is. That dunes of sand. Look at that. I'll even bring it closer so you can see the textures of that sand. And then the shadow. Look how detailed that shadow is. Perfectly. And you look up the stars, you look up the moon, and just look how detailed everything is here. Now you're probably asking, how am I able to do this, to position the camera in such a way? Well, I did go to a film school, Fort Lauderdale of video production, Fort Lauderdale Institute, Art Institute, and my major was video production. So I had to learn how to maneuver the camera and how pan and scan the objects and the silhouettes and persons. So I had to learn all that stuff. So that's why I'm able to do this like this. Alright. Now people have been asking me which game do I think it's the best example of Xbox One X enhanced. I think it's still early for me to say. I will know by the end of December and beginning of January. I will be able to tell you. But for right now, I would say Assassin's Creed Origins is definitely the one game that's not going to disappoint you. Okay, it's definitely going to show you what this console can do. And of course, Call of Duty World War II has that ability as well. But I think Assassin's Creed Origin is the best. If you have to choose one game and you need to buy a console, Assassin's Creed Origins. Okay, there's a reason why Phil Spencer was showing this game on the Gamescom. Okay, and that's the reason why. Well, there you have it, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this video, and thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this, but it's because of you. We're keeping it strong. We keep growing. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.